Red Dawn 2012. In a quiet American town, high school football star Jed Eckert prepares for another ordinary morning. His younger brother Matt rushes to school, annoyed by Jed's strict attitude. Suddenly, explosions shake the sky as paratroopers descend. The town is invaded by foreign soldiers who quickly seize control. Chaos erupts as citizens are captured or killed. Jed and Matt escape into nearby mountains with a few friends. Fear and confusion spread among the teenagers as they realize their country is under attack. Cut off from families and communication, they face a harsh reality. Survival becomes their only goal as they hide deep in the wilderness together. Days pass as the group struggles to survive in the mountains. Hunger, cold nights, and fear test their strength. Jed steps into a leadership role, teaching others basic survival skills. They learn how to hunt, build fires, and stay hidden from enemy patrols. Matt resents Jed's authority but slowly understands the seriousness of their situation. News from captured radios reveals multiple American cities have fallen. The group feels isolated and abandoned. Despite fear, they refuse to surrender hope. Jed reminds them they are still free and must fight back someday. The idea of resistance begins forming in their minds as they train together. The group returns secretly to town to gather supplies. They witness harsh military rule and civilians forced into camps. Shocked by what they see, their anger grows stronger. They steal food, medicine, and weapons from enemy checkpoints. During the mission, they barely escape detection. The danger bonds them closer together. They choose the name Wolverines, inspired by their school mascot, symbolizing strength and survival. Their first small victory boosts confidence. Jed begins planning guerrilla attacks. Matt finally respects his brother's leadership. They swear to protect their town and country. The Wolverines transform from scared teenagers into determined resistance fighters ready for battle. The Wolverines launch their first attack on an enemy convoy. The mission is risky but successful. They destroy vehicles and rescue prisoners. However, the reality of war hits hard when they lose one of their friends. The group mourns but understands sacrifice is part of resistance. Jed reminds them their actions give hope to others. Enemy forces begin hunting them more aggressively. Posters label them terrorists. Despite pressure, their determination grows stronger. Matt begins showing bravery and tactical thinking. The Wolverines realize they are now symbols of rebellion. Their small group becomes a growing legend among captured civilians and hidden survivors across the region. Enemy commanders bring advanced soldiers to eliminate the Wolverines. The mountains become dangerous as patrols increase. The group must move constantly to avoid capture. Food becomes scarce again, forcing risky supply raids. During one mission, Matt saves Jed's life, proving his growth. Their brotherly bond strengthens through shared hardship. They receive secret help from hidden townspeople who admire their courage. Jed starts planning larger coordinated attacks. The Wolverines are no longer just surviving, they are fighting strategically. Each mission weakens enemy control slightly. Hope slowly spreads among civilians who hear whispers about teenage fighters refusing to surrender their homeland. The Wolverines attack a communication center, disrupting enemy operations. The mission succeeds but costs another friend's life. Grief weighs heavily on the group. Jed struggles with guilt over lost lives. Matt encourages him to stay strong, showing leadership growth. Enemy forces respond with brutal crackdowns on civilians. The Wolverines feel responsible but realize surrender would only worsen things. They promise to continue fighting for those who cannot. Their resistance inspires other small rebel groups forming nearby. The Wolverines unknowingly become part of a larger resistance movement. War has changed them permanently, turning teenagers into hardened fighters with unbreakable determination. Winter arrives, making survival even harder. The group faces freezing temperatures and illness. Supplies run low, forcing dangerous town missions. During one raid, they discover their father was executed for helping rebels. The news devastates Jed and Matt. Instead of breaking them, it fuels their resolve. Jed vows to free their town completely. The Wolverines prepare for a major attack on an enemy headquarters. Training becomes intense as they plan every detail. They know the mission may be suicidal. Still, they choose to fight rather than live hiding forever. Their courage becomes their greatest weapon against overwhelming enemy power. The Wolverines launch the headquarters assault at night. Explosions and gunfire echo through the town. They destroy enemy equipment and rescue prisoners. However, heavy enemy reinforcements arrive. A brutal battle follows. Several Wolverines are wounded. Jed is injured protecting Matt. Despite pain, they continue fighting. The mission partially succeeds, but they must retreat quickly. The town witnesses their bravery, boosting civilian morale. The Wolverines realize their actions inspire real resistance. Though exhausted and wounded, they refuse to stop. They understand freedom requires sacrifice. Their legend spreads, giving people courage to resist occupation forces in secret ways. Enemy forces track the Wolverines to their mountain base. A massive battle begins. Outnumbered and surrounded, they fight fiercely. Jed decides some must escape to continue resistance. He sacrifices himself to hold back enemy soldiers. Matt refuses to leave but is forced by friends. Jed's final stand allows others to survive. Matt watches from distance, heartbroken but determined. The remaining Wolverines escape deeper into wilderness. Jed's sacrifice becomes their motivation. Matt steps fully into leadership. The group promises to keep fighting in Jed's memory. Loss strengthens their mission to free their homeland from occupation. Years later, the war ends after long resistance efforts across the country. The town is finally free. A memorial stands honoring those who fought and died, including Jed and the Wolverines. Matt, now older, visits the site remembering their journey. Their story becomes legend, taught to future generations. The Wolverines proved courage and unity could challenge powerful enemies. Matt realizes freedom always requires sacrifice. He thanks his brother silently. The camera fades, showing peaceful streets once filled with war. The legacy of the Wolverines lives on, reminding people that ordinary citizens can become heroes when their freedom is threatened.